Right now on the National Weather Desk, huge waves slam the California coast. Right now on the National Weather Desk, huge waves slam the California coast, sending people running for their lives.
Run, family! Oh!
We have team coverage along the coast as the water-damaged cars flooded roads and sent people to the hospital.
This wave just came seemingly out of nowhere.
Also, dramatic video as winds nearly blow a mobile home off a highway. We'll help you better understand the Pacific Northwest's king tide season.
It's not really a scientific term. It's taken off in recent years.
We'll offer up some cold weather workout tips.
Outdoor exercise, especially in the winter, can help with things like reducing stress, anxiety, and depression.
And show you why indoor air quality can be so bad during the winter months.
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Good morning and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm meteorologist Matt Ritter. The Pacific Ocean showed its power on Thursday. Massive waves pounded the coast, triggering flooding, injuries, and warnings to stay off the beach. This was the scene in Ventura County just north of Los Angeles as onlookers ran from a wave that quickly flooded a parking lot. Nearly 20 people were caught up in the water. 8 were taken to the hospital. The waves were just as big along Monterey Bay, south of San Francisco. The waves were 20 to 35 feet high, more than enough to cause widespread damage. We begin our coverage this morning in Ventura.
It was a chaotic scene in Ventura.
Everyone okay? Anyone missing?
As water came rushing into a neighborhood.
Holy
John Frizzell capturing the moment it all happened.
This wave just came seemingly out of nowhere. Just this rush. I mean, you saw it. It was 6-8 feet deep.
But the damage didn't stop there. Down below, folks worked quickly to clear out the drains in anticipation of the next swell.
I'm kind of just shaking. I'm just trying to hold on to positive thoughts.
And just a few miles away, more cleanup.
And here at Emma Woods State Beach, it didn't take long for those big waves to crash on the shoreline and cause flooding, like you can see, sending debris everywhere, and now drivers are forced to navigate their way out.
This is insane.
Stephanie Massman says she has never seen anything quite like this.
When I was up on the pier, I actually felt the pier shaking.
Adding waves only seem to be getting bigger by the minute.
It doesn't even seem real.
Oh.
Thursday's high surf caught visitors and campers by surprise at Oceano Dunes. Make that
Run, family. Oh.
extreme high surf that sent people scrambling out of harm's way. This 2-ton truck, no match for the waves.
Oh my gosh.
One RV flooded, the water inches from these two. A breakfast setup, now in the surf.
Go, Tiana, get in there.
With families not willing to take a chance. And once the water cleared out, a muddy mess. More RVs stuck, waiting to be hauled. No match for nature.
Rescue crews were called out to the Oceano Dunes after dangerously high tides swept multiple vehicles into the surf. 5 people were rescued and crews are searching for more potential victims. This video shows at least one truck completely upside down in the water. This week, the National Weather Service issued a coastal flood warning for San Luis Obispo County that lasts until Saturday night. Visitors and campers could be confined to the dunes for up to 18 hours if conditions make leaving risky. This video is from Pismo, where the surf completely overtook the beach.
Jeff Lantis is nearly back to square one at his Capitola business, the Sandbar. It was devastated by January's high surf, forcing it to close for 6 months. Now, almost a year later, high waves are once again flooding the village. The day before this damage, the city of Capitola put in sand barriers trying to protect the businesses. Initially helpful, the protection didn't last very long.
It helped block us a bit, but one day is all it takes for this to be cleared out.
We're seeing widespread coastal impacts from high tides and extraordinary waves coming into low-lying areas of the coast.
Those lower-lying areas include Rio Del Mar Beach and Seacliff State Beach. In less than 24 hours, the areas were flooded with debris from high waves that came and went.
We are expecting higher waves coming in, and it only takes one for you to be washed out. We will not be able to rescue you if you go out. Please heed the warning.
Earlier this week, the wind was the story on the West Coast. Check out the power of Mother Nature here. Someone was towing this mobile home through the Columbia River Gorge when the wind got under it, lifting the home onto just 2 wheels. With sparks flying, the driver was remarkably able to regain control. Winds in the area were blowing at 40 miles per hour, gusting to 80. The driver continued down the highway, mobile home intact. Even farther up the coast, this is king tide season in Washington state. Seattle meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell explains what they are and why they happen.
This is a view of Alki Beach. That's our own Lady Liberty, West Coast style here around Elliott Bay, just around the corner from downtown Seattle. And this was last December, 2022. This beach usually goes way out and you can walk along it, but look at all of that high water that flooded the shoreline there of Puget Sound last December. That was during a big run of king tides, and a lot of people wondering, what are king tides anyway? It's not really a scientific term. It's taken off in recent years as a colloquial or conversational term for the typical normal winter tides we see here in the northern hemisphere. They're lifted up, of course, because of the cycle of the moon, and we can read the tide tables and pretty much prepare for them when they're coming in. But to get water that high where it's flooding the shoreline, you end up with those coastal flood advisories and whatnot. That's what happens when the king tides coincide with a big storm. Last December on the West Coast, we had an extremely deep area of low pressure, and so that kind of took the tide charts and the numbers that people were expecting and knocked them out of the park, and we ended up with much higher water than forecast as a result. And because of that, if you've got a big storm and that happens to coincide with the king tides, that can lead to shoreline flooding like we saw around Lady Liberty at Alki Beach last December. For the National Weather Desk, I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell.
Down south, the story is the cold. Temperatures in most of this area will be 10 to 20 degrees below normal. Temperatures are in the 20s this morning in many areas. New Orleans is colder than New York. And in Houston, frost is possible north and west of the city. Cold and snow are a fact of life in the Midwest, and that's exactly what they got yesterday. This was the scene in Madison, Wisconsin, where a couple of inches fell. In other Wisconsin cities, especially those along Lake Michigan, the precipitation was mostly rain. In this El Nino winter, states that are used to seeing plenty of snow on the ground are still waiting for that first big storm, or even a little one. The state of Montana just updated its approach to drought management for the first time in nearly 30 years. Bowen West found out why the update is happening now.
The last state drought plan was released in 1995, and a lot has changed in that time.
Yeah, I mean, we've just been having hotter, drier conditions in Montana.
The updated plan adds newer ways that the U.S. assesses droughts, how locations get federal aid when dealing with a drought, and who to contact during times of drought.
It's kind of the first time that it's been like documented in daylight for anybody to be able to understand exactly how that process happens.
The plan covers how to improve drought preparedness, including prevention and recovery, the importance of understanding how areas are affected during each season. It also addresses vulnerabilities across 5 water sectors throughout the state and stakeholder-generated recommendations for resources. Hawk says that a lot of drought management happens at the local level. The new plan aims to guide local control during droughts.
And some of the recommendations would just kind of get out of, would help the state just kind of get out of local communities' way as they try to implement those recommendations.
Google just released its top trends and searches of 2023. And when it comes to news topics, it's no surprise that the weather is near the top of the list. The war in the Middle East and the failed Titanic submarine mission were the 2 top searches. The earthquake in Turkey was third, followed by Hurricane Hillary and Hurricane Idalia. Hillary, you may remember, was a Category 4 Pacific hurricane that impacted Southern California and Arizona in August. Idalia was also a Category 4 storm that made landfall just a few weeks later along Florida's Big Bend. Coming up on the National Weather Desk, why both indoor and outdoor air quality are such problems during the winter months. Plus, a look at how countries around the globe are working to address climate change.
I'm meteorologist Emily Santa, and let's take a look at the highs today for the Northeast. Most areas in northern New England will be in the 30s. We're looking at 39 in Portland, 47 over in Albany, New York, and as we head south towards New Jersey, we'll be in the mid-50s, 55 in Atlantic City. Next couple of hours beginning later today, tracking some rain in the northern parts of the region. We're tracking some snow also in Rooftop, Maine. Stays pretty clear, though, down in Pennsylvania.
Hey everyone, I'm Wyatt Eberhard. Let's get a look at your latest forecast. Cloudy conditions early on this Friday, and I think the clouds are going to kind of hold tough through the bulk of the day. Maybe even a stray shower coming in as we go into the evening hours tonight. But after that, we've got clear weather setting up to the west, and it looks like clear weather rolling into Maryland as we go into Saturday and even Sunday. It looks like brighter conditions across the state. Temperature-wise, well, through the day today, we'll still climb into the mid-50s as we work into the afternoon hours.
Good Friday morning. I'm meteorologist Michael Ehrenberg with a look at your southeast regional forecast for this Friday. Most of the coastal plain will be sunny to partly cloudy. Cloudy skies across the mountains. Could be some snow showers and rain showers for the highest terrain of Tennessee and western North Carolina and southwest Virginia as some very cold air works its way through. Clouds will increase across central and south Florida. High temperatures in the 40s and 50s. From I-10 north, look for 60s to near 70 in central and south Florida.
watching the National Weather Desk.
Welcome back. Let's check to see the weather in cities across the country today. We start in Dalton, Georgia, where it's going to feel like winter. Highs will only be in the mid-40s today, and lows tonight will drop into the upper 20s. Compare that to Waterford, Connecticut. Highs will be in the upper 40s, but tonight's lows will only fall to around 41. Next up is Flint, Michigan. As you can see, it's a rainy morning there. Highs will only reach around 41 degrees today and will stay in the 30s all through the weekend. And finally, we visit Cincinnati. Along the Ohio River, the Queen City will be cloudy today with highs struggling to reach 40 degrees. As the world adjusts abruptly to growing numbers of catastrophic weather events blamed on climate change, countries across the globe are working to address the issue. Simon Cullen reports.
Record-breaking wildfires in Canada, deadly floods across large parts of Africa, and polar ice caps in long-term decline.
We are living through climate collapse in real time, and the impact is devastating.
Even before the year was out, scientists had declared with certainty that 2023 would go down as the hottest recorded year in human history.
The year has been quite extraordinary, and myself and many climate scientists have really run out of adjectives to describe the sheer volume of records broken and how they've been broken.
In November, the Earth's average temperature briefly rose more than 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, a crucial threshold that scientists say could have irreversible consequences.
The evidence is very, very clear. The warmer our world is, the more likely we are to have extreme events, and those extreme events are likely to be more intense and more frequent.
With the El Niño system warming water temperatures in the Pacific Ocean, 2024 could be even hotter. However, there are some glimmers of hope. Carbon Brief analysis shows that while China's coal infrastructure has grown, the country has invested so much in renewable energy over recent years that its emissions could actually begin to fall in the year ahead, marking a dramatic turnaround for the world's biggest polluter.
There have been moments in the past where it's looked like China's emissions are coming to a peak. I think there's probably more confidence this time around that we really are seeing a structural shift in their economy.
Analysts say that could be a game changer, not just for China's domestic emissions. It could also give the Chinese leadership extra incentive to push for even stronger global action.
In the cold winter months, air quality can be a problem both indoors and out. Meteorologist Eileen Whalen looks into what causes the problem and things you can do to improve both indoor and outdoor air quality this winter season.
Most of the summer, we're affected by ground level ozone, which is not emitted from the air but caused by chemical reactions in the hot summer air. Air pollutants from car exhaust, aerosol products, and manufacturing emissions are some of the major contributions to ground level ozone. Now, in the winter, ground level ozone isn't much of a factor with colder and darker days, but particle pollution remains a factor. Outdoor air quality can be compromised during the winter season, especially in urban areas. The burning of fossil fuels for heating and more people driving in cars can lead to elevated levels of particulate matter and pollutants. And believe it or not, indoor pollution can be 2 to 5 times higher than outdoors in the winter. And that's because we're trying to keep our homes and offices warm this time of year. So windows are closed and sealed, trapping in pollutants such as dust and pet dander. Also, fireplaces and wood stoves can release harmful particles and gases into the air. So some things that you can do this winter season to enjoy better air quality indoors is to replace or clean your air filter. Vacuum and dust often. Maybe invest in an air purifier and considering opening the windows for just a short time in the afternoon when it's not freezing cold, just to help air out the house.
And if being more active is a resolution for 2024, remember, it's a year-long goal. Exercising is important to your health, even when the temperature dips. Mandy Gaither shares some cold weather workout tips.
Your 2024 health goals shouldn't take a break when it's cold outside.
Aside from the physical health benefits, outdoor exercise, especially in the winter, can help with things like reducing stress,
anxiety and depression, which we often see higher levels of during the winter months.
Sports medicine Dr. Michael Tiso with Ohio State's Wexner Medical Center says exercising 12 months a year should be a part of your lifestyle, not a burden. To safely exercise in the cold, Tiso says to dress based on the temperature and your activity, but wearing layers is important.
I'd be starting with like a synthetic base layer, a middle fleece, and then an outer insulated jacket, or a combination of a puffy warmth coat and an outer shell. The shell helps protect against rain and wind, and the inner puffy part of the jacket helps keep the warmth in.
Stay away from clothes made with cotton. Tiso says that material tends to trap moisture close to the skin. If it's really cold outside, he says to keep extremities like fingers, which are more vulnerable to frostbite, covered. And before you exercise, do a short 5 to 10 minute warm up to get blood flowing to muscles.
Afterwards, after you're done exercising, a short cool down can help, and then sometimes stretching after exercise may be more effective than doing it before.
And watch out for sun exposure. You can still get sunburned in the winter, especially if it reflects off of snow.
And when it gets cold, squirrels go looking for a place to keep warm. Oftentimes that search leads them to transformer boxes, and as Shady Ferguson reports, the results can be shocking.
The squirrels are tricky.
The shocking truth is, squirrels may not be as cute as you think they are. Director of Utilities Ryan Schmitz says squirrels have always been enemies of electric crews because they make up for a large number of power outages in the city.
Squirrels are hard to patrol, especially in a city. You have a higher rate of squirrels because of the condensed vegetation and houses.
Schmitz explains they invest heavily in trimming trees and branches, not just for the squirrels, but to keep branches from falling onto power lines.
We have a crew that is just dedicated to tree trimming, and then we also contract out a large amount of tree trimming each year to try to keep limbs away from the power lines.
Cutting trees allows less room for squirrels to jump from trees to rooftops to power lines. However, they can't do this to every tree. Plus, if a squirrel comes in contact with two phases on a power line or nests in a transformer box to stay warm,
that's when the squirrel gets fried and blows a fuse on the pole, ideally,
which isolates a power outage. But the high wire isn't the only thing, giving these critters a jolt of energy in your neighborhood.
A lot of people like to feed squirrels, which draws them to certain areas, which we found some of those areas tend to magnify the occurrences.
Grand Island Utilities says 35% of power outages were squirrel driven.
Time now for a short break, but first, let's take in some views of Washington State from above.
Well, a very good Friday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Buckmichael. Take a look at your weather story across the Midwest. We have some light rain, snow, wintry mixed showers across the Great Lakes in the Ohio Valley. Now, this will continue moving its way to the east for tomorrow. But then we've also got a clipper system that's going to start swinging in. Now, most of the Midwest pretty quiet on Saturday, but that clipper system swings more into the Great Lakes region for your Sunday into Monday. So we've got a few light wintry mixed showers. Across the plains, though, staying pretty dry for us.
Good Friday morning to you. Meteorologist Chris Uche. Look at our forecast today across the region, starting off with cold, chilly temperatures, a little lingering cloud cover in Arkansas. As we work through the afternoon, we'll see a mix of clouds and sunshine. Chilly temperatures, 44 for Little Rock, 50s and 60s elsewhere across the region. We head into the weekend. Last weekend of 2023 looks good. Cold in the morning. Saturday, lots of sunshine. Highs, 50s and 60s to near 70 late afternoon Saturday.
Well, hi there, everybody. It's the final Friday morning of 2023. I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell. Where is the mountain snow? Out west, it's MIA through the Rockies in Montana and all the way into the Cascades of Washington and Oregon. Running far too warm and mainly dry again with 59 in the Emerald City, 63 in Vegas, 70s back out of southern Arizona. Finally, some wet weather back for the West Coast as we head into Friday afternoon. And that's the scene from here.
You are watching the National Weather Desk.
We've seen a lot of northern lights this year, and they are an amazing sight. But how exactly do they form? Let's turn to meteorologist Mitchell Coombs to find out.
Of the sun. Storms on the sun cause events such as coronal mass ejections, or CMEs, and solar wind from coronal holes to send charged particles hurtling through space. If the Earth is in the path of this charged particle stream of protons and neutrons, our planet's magnetic field and atmosphere will react from the impact. Particle collisions excite the molecules which produce the wispy, elusive lights that fill the night sky with color similar to how neon signs give off light. The aurora's colors are dependent on the height and type of atmospheric molecules the solar particles collide with. Nitrogen collisions produce pink auroras below 100 kilometers and blues between 100 and 200 kilometers. When oxygen is involved, green auroras show between 100 and 200 kilometers, with red auroras above 200 kilometers. As billions of flashes occur in sequence, the auroras appear to move or dance in the sky.
We'd love to share your weather content on the air. You can find us on all your favorite social media platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Just search the National Weather Desk. We'll be right back. Thank you for joining us today. I'm meteorologist Matt Ritter. Make it a great day, great weekend. We'll see you back here Monday on New Year's Day.